In this video, I'm going to teach you about high ticket sales. This is part 4 of a 5-part video series that I've been doing. If you want to see the previous videos, you can find them around here. And if you want to ever work with me and my team to help you build your business, I'd love to help you too. You can find links below this video for that. I'm John Patrick Muller. I'm a former Buddhist monk and professional counselor. And I took my gifts of teaching meditation classes, turned them into an online spiritual coaching business, fell in love with digital marketing along the way. And I started helping other people first with a marketing agency where I ran Facebook ads and built funnels for people. And then I started coaching other healers and coaches because it turns out that ads and funnels are not the right medicine for healers and coaches who are at the beginning stages. It is not the right step. And so I learned organic marketing and low-tech systems first and how to do it organically, just with a Facebook account for free. You can get 10K clients, you can get 30K clients just from Facebook for free and other channels. So I started doing that, and now you can see that I'm putting the things that I know on YouTube, and I have programs where we partner with businesses and help you to build, and we do it with you and build things for you too. So if you want to find out more about that, you can click below this video. But in this video, I'm going to share with you some secrets of high ticket sales. Now, high ticket sales, or really any sales, was something that I was very opposed to. I had no interest in sales. I have natural gifts with people, I think, but I was very, very, very bad at sales because I was extremely resistant to the entire process of sales. I was resistant. I didn't want to ever hurt people or twist their arm or manipulate people. And along the way, I've had several different lessons that have helped me, including purchasing coaching for myself and seeing it in action. And so I'm going to share with you some high level stuff, but first I want to share some basic things. For example, many years ago, a client and a friend that I was working with, she was a massage therapist. I helped her book 30 calls in 30 paid appointments in one day, and filled her entire calendar for about 2 months out within 7 days of advertising. So anyway, she was a friend, and she told me that she's like, manipulation and influence are the opposites of each other. They're kind of the same, but they're kind of opposites. Manipulation is where you have selfish intention, and influence is where you're using all these same tools and skills, but you're trying to benefit others. And for me, that made sense. And I thought, you know what? I think I can get behind this whole influence thing, because I had been really resisting influencing people. Even if I knew that I was leading them in a good direction, I would take my hands completely off and just let them figure it out. And in the Buddhist world where I was part of, this was part of how we did things, but there was a lot of influence that we used too. We would use high-level influence to get people to practice Buddhist teachings and to try to meditate and to learn how to meditate and to challenge our normal ways of thinking. Influence was a high-level skill that was used that I learned and that I was good at. But I had resistance to doing it in the world of business. And this person taught me that influence is actually a good thing in business, and it might feel like manipulation, but if your intention is good, then it's called influence, and then it's a positive thing. You're just trying to benefit others, so we can call it influence. So that helped me. Okay. A couple other things is one of my business partners called sales leadership. He called it leadership. He didn't say this is sales. He said the word sales actually should just be replaced with the word leadership. It's a better word for it. And leadership is where you lead people to where you want them to go using their own reasons. Otherwise, it's manipulation. If you try to force reasons on people, that's called manipulation. But leadership is where you guide them to a desired outcome using their own reasons, not your reasons, but their reasons. So a good leader learns how to listen, and you tune into other people's reasons for doing things, and you guide them to a specific destination using their own reasons, where they actually want to go. That's called leadership. And that's what sales is. Okay. So these are some things that have helped me. And he also taught me, he's like, you're not going to take people's last dollar. They're not going to give you their last dollar. So you can try to make the sale, and they have the right to say yes or no. right? And they're not going to give you their last dollar, so it's okay. And if you believe in what you do, then it's your duty to guide them into what you're selling and what you're offering if it's right for them, right? So I think we all know this, but from my experience, sales is leadership and sales is service. Sales is service. The price of your program is actually part of your service to them, right? If people invest a large sum of money, something that feels like a lot of money to them, guess what? They're going to go all in. And we're talking about, in the types of programs that we offer, like changing deep-seated patterns, deep-rooted patterns, right? Completely transforming our entire being, right? Getting success in business, like truly getting to like the next level or the next level, requires a complete change of heart. And that's the case with relationships too, or with any area of life. A total and complete transformation is kind of required, right, in order to get great results. And people sometimes, when things get difficult or if you're challenging their pre-existing patterns, they can opt out, they can pull away, they can slink back into their slump and into their slumber. And if you have charged them a lot of money, something that feels like a lot of money to them, they will have a reason to lean in and be like, well, I already paid for this, I should at least try it. Or I already paid, I need to get my result. And so, they're going to be more likely to lean in and re-engage and continue to show up and kind of stay committed and stay on track. The way I think of this is like you've created a container. You've created like a cauldron or like a container. Your program is a container. Some people call their programs containers. That's probably the best term that there is, actually. It's a really good term. A container is where transformation happens. Now, I've been part of Buddhist meditation communities for a long, long, long time. And in Buddhism, the spiritual community is considered to be one of the 3 essential ingredients to transformation, right? They call it Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. That's what they call it. Buddha means enlightened beings connecting to the mind and to the heart of enlightened beings directly, receiving their blessings. Dharma means the teachings, the instructions. It means following the path. It means they've showed you what to do, now you have to do it. Listen to what they say and practice the path, right? Follow the teachings. That's what Dharma means. And gaining experience of the teachings, getting experience of love, getting experience of compassion, gaining experience of meditation, right? That's what Dharma means. And then Sangha is the spiritual community. And this, for me, becomes like the energetic container. The Sangha becomes the container. I have experienced it many times where I'm surrounded by other meditators and other beings, spiritual practitioners, and my meditation practice, it's like there's energy that I'm creating, but when there's a community there, it's like we're in a pressure cooker, right? Pressure cookers make things get done faster, right? Because of the container, because of the walls of the container are really, really strong, right? When you meditate with a group, it's like you're in a pressure cooker. Their energy pushes back on you, and now you can evolve really, really fast. And they provide you energetic support, almost like they're the pillars. It's almost like there's pillars all around you, and that you feel, like imagine that you're in a room that has lots of pillars and you make a sound. That sound will come back to you. In the same way, everything that you do when you meditate in a community, it gives you the energy back. It supports you so that you can receive the fruit of your practice really fast. That's my experience. And so when you provide a container for clients, just know that you are literally providing them the support and the structure they need for transformation. And I believe it's very hard to transform without a container, without a commitment to a container. Also, my background is really with psychology, and I learned about personality disorders in one part of my journey, right? And there was a world-class instructor on personality disorders named Dr. Gregory Lester, I believe, and he was excellent at working with people and helping people who had personality disorders. But they're very hard to treat. It's like substance abuse. They're very difficult to treat traditionally. because the success rate is very low. But there are special tools that work. However, one of the requirements to make it work is to have them sign a contract or an agreement to a certain number of sessions. And they had to commit to a certain number of sessions, and they had to follow through on that commitment, or else it wouldn't work. That was part of the agreement. That was part of the therapy, was commitment to a certain number of sessions. It's not like normal therapy where you can just come back if you feel like it, right? A lot of therapy is like, oh, we'll do some work, but come back if you feel like it. And then the therapist doesn't have the means to challenge the person really deeply, right? When you get challenged to your core, you don't want to come back the next day, right? But if you have an agreement, then you will. And so the container provides people the space to unfold, but also to receive the challenges and corrections that they need to completely transform. And the container provides support as well. So if you are selling transformational programs, just think of the container that you provide as being essential to the clients. It is completely essential. And that the price tag is just getting them to commit to the container. That's what it is. Okay? And so don't think of your price as being just something arbitrary. It is it's an energetic entry fee to the portal that you provide. It's also another way of thinking of it is like a portal. You're providing an energetic portal that takes them to a new world, to a new self, to a new being, to a new universe where they have the results. It's a portal, right? And there's an energetic entry fee. It costs this much to ride this ride, type of thing, right? You have to pay to play. And that's because the portal requires energy, right? You require energy to run. And so they have to pay the entry fee in order to come on board. That's how it goes. So I think of it like that. Like my portal is raised above the ground, and the cost to get in is a certain amount of energy. And if they can come up to meet it, now they're allowed in. Very simple, like energy physics, right? Energy math, right? The metaphysics of math or whatever. It's true. It's true. Okay, so that's what I think of when I think of price tags and sales. The price tag itself is part of the service. It's part of serving people. The whole sales process is part of the service. You get to challenge people in the sales process. You're serving them. The whole thing is designed to be of service to them. If you think of it as being of service to yourself, that's when it starts to feel icky and gross. Okay? It's very common for people to think sales is icky. It's because they think of a sale as an arm wrestling match for them to get some money. Right? Let me arm wrestle you for money. If I win, I get your money. If you win, you get to keep your money. Right? That's not what sales is. Of course that's going to be exhausting and gross. Of course. The problem for beginner entrepreneurs is that you have all these mental blockages to marketing and sales, and you think it means something worse than what it is. And a lot of us, we do our spiritual practice and we play around in these etheric realms, but when it comes time to living a practical life, we have a hard time applying our spiritual practice to a practical life, right? Like if you got a normal job, you'd have to you'd have to do it, and you'd have to apply your spiritual practice to that job. At first, the job might feel ordinary and gross and icky and pointless and even monotonous or even bad. But if you apply your spiritual practice to it, you can make it positive and good. You know, bringing special intentions to the practice, bringing special ways of thinking to the job. It's the same with entrepreneurship. You're just new. It's just being new. There's no shame in it. We just have to admit that we're new. We're new to marketing. We're new to sales. We're new to business. We're new to social media. We're new to all of it, right? And so when you think about sales, you have all these patterns that are like saying that it's bad, but you also have your own patterns of bad intent, like selfish intentions and that kind of thing. And you think, well, no one would really do this unless you were doing it for selfish interest, but that's not true. Some people love their business and they want it to grow, and they love their clients and they want them to grow, and so they do sales, right? It doesn't have to be self-centered, right? Think about it. A conversation around Thanksgiving dinner with your family what is that conversation like? What's your attitude during that conversation? It could be anything that you want it to be, right? You could be selfish, you could be loving, you could be happy, you could be abundant and joyful and grateful, or you could be self-centered, you could be on drugs, you could be manipulative, you could hate your family. Whatever it becomes like, the attitudes that you bring to it. And those attitudes are your choice. And whatever attitudes you bring to that, that's similar to the attitudes you can bring to your business, right? You could bring attitudes of love and joy and harmony and peace and gratitude and service to sales and your business. You could do that if you wanted to. You just have to learn how. You're just new. You're new at it. It takes practice, right? I did a lot of manual labor and construction in my previous years for work, and I loved it. And it could be a monotonous job, or I can bring my spiritual practice into it and make it part of my spiritual practice. It's the same as sales. If you actually make it a spiritual practice, then you can realize that it can be selfless, right? And that you'll start to realize the things that I'm saying are true. The price tag is part of service. It's a portal entry fee, right? It's the energetic entry fee to the portal that you want to take them in. That makes sense, right? Like, that's how energy works. That's how the universe works. Do you really think that it would be otherwise, right? The spiritual opportunities that you've gotten in your life have been similar, have come from you being energetically ready and being able to put energy in, right? So that's what you're providing to people with your business. Okay, so I wanted to address that and help anyone listening to have a positive attitude towards sales, a positive mindset. Now, there's a bunch of stuff that I want to cover here, and I believe that I'm going to do it in another video. So we're going to make this a 7-part series instead of 5, because it's going to take me a couple extra videos to finish. Okay, so hopefully this was helpful as a intro to high ticket sales, to kind of get your attitude right. And I hope that this was helpful. And now we'll go into the strategy in the next video.